Oh heavens. Looking a wee bit moist for qualifying here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Republic of Motorsport Round 2 of Season 3. We're here at Shanghai for the Chinese Grand Prix, and I'm getting the feeling there's just a wee bit of precipitation in the air. It's raining. The drivers are on inters, and that tends to make qualifying just that wee bit more unpredictable. All on the inters, nobody taking any gambles with... Oh, okay, I was about to say nobody taking any gambles with the wet tyre. And just as I say, that Celtic flicked between the two tyres, probably comparing deltas between them before realising that the inters are definitely the way to go. And everybody's getting out on track nice and early, as you would expect, you'd have to say. Driving in the wet conditions, it's all about learning, really. You just want to spend as much time on track as possible, just learn the conditions, get used to it, and that tends to be how you set the fastest lap possible. Lucky Lambert is the first driver going around, as I will just quickly, while the drivers are on their outlaps, I will put the stream link into the Discord, just because that seems like the sensible thing to do. Of course, we're not going to Shanghai in real Formula 1 in 2021. I don't know if we ever planned to either. I'm pretty sure it was off the calendar right from the start. But it is still within the F1 game. I think that was Codemasters realising that they didn't have the Saudi Arabia circuit ready. They didn't have Imola. They didn't have Portimao. And that if they didn't put this in the game, we would be a little bit short on circuits, especially seeing as they decided they wanted to remove all the short circuits as well. I think they just left China in there as a, here, sorry we can't give you the new tracks, but have a bonus. It's China, everyone hates it. I say that, not everyone hates China. I hate China. I got offered to do a league race around here tonight to reserve in TSRC. I said no because I hate China. It sucks. Let's ride on board then with Mr. Lucky Lambert as he takes us through his opening lap of qualifying. Make your way into the first corner. It's a long sweeping right. It just keeps going. We're still in turn 1 right now. There's turn 2. The track falls away from you. You got to watch the traction on the exit as the circuit opens out in front of you. Careful on the throttle, especially in the wet there. Lucky Lambert struggling a bit on throttle there, not able to use all of the available space. We now run down into the turn 4 hairpin downhill braking. It's tricky in the dry. It's even more tricky in the rain. You just got absolutely no grip going down there. Now around what would normally be a flat out left-hander. Once again, not in the rain. Obviously, you can hear that Lucky Lambert really getting off the throttle as we now come back to the right. It's a little tricky sort of double apex corner. Take the first apex, run the car out wide. Don't use too much of that curb. Hit the next apex, and again on the outside here, you'd normally have to watch for track limits in the dry. We'd often see a lot of lap times get invalidated there, but not today. All getting through smoothly. Now this is pain. You've got to be so patient with the right foot, getting that throttle down. Don't break traction. That's going to be even more challenging in the wet conditions. Now we're in a straight line. Lucky Lambert will floor it. I don't know if you can hear that. Someone's honking their horn outside my window. Lovely. Arriving at the end of the DRS straight, this is where we expect to see most of the overtaking during the race. Lambert files it through the hairpin, back on the throttle now again. Going to have to be so patient under acceleration, which he has been. Just one corner to go then, the final corner. Now we're back on the throttle, driving to the line. And our first lap of the day is a 1:43.4. Nice and slow for us there. That's just because of these wet conditions. Who's going to be next? Grazzi. Next to the line, see what he can do. How does he compare to Lucky Lambert on his opening lap? He's a tenth of a second slower. Very close laps indeed, as B Ford goes fastest on a 43.3. Nice stuff from him there. We're following Stato as he makes his way into the middle sector. We've got ROM James, I think, about to cross the line. See what he can do. P4 for now, 45.1. A couple seconds off the pace of his teammate. He'll be looking to improve then as the session goes on. Like D-Money here. coming through into that final sector. We'll see how well he can handle these things. We'll get the telemetry up, shall we, as well, because that's always fun. Oh, we got a spin. One of the Hasses has gone off. Is that Lewis, or is he just getting out the way? May well be letting other cars go, to be fair. He's on his outlap, so I doubt he spun. As Tommy Reel, a 42.7, puts his car onto provisional pole position. What else have we got on a flying lap here? RSF1 Vettel, who's just decided, screw the apex of the hairpin. I'm going to go straight on. Does get it round the hairpin just about, and we'll see how much time that mistake has cost him on his opening lap of the day. Crosses the line now. And goes P6 on a 44.2, but as you can see, has plenty of time in it with that big error there. I think we got Lucky Lambert coming to do his second lap of the day, and he improves up to P2. Perez about to do his first. Oh, was there a spinner there? Shane, I think we didn't see you. Get your car back in the straight line. Pez puts his car into second on the grid. RMB Ford now across the line. He invalidated that lap. Did he invalidate at the last corner? I think he did. He improved by 4/10. Would have been a 42.9. Good enough for P2. But I'm guessing that last corner invalidated because he invalidated his next lap as well. Snipes P3. He's always good at the wet. I know every time it rains, normally one of me or Skills will sat there and go on and be like, oh, Snipe's so good in the wet. He's so good. It's because he is. Whenever CSR comes around and we race in the rain, we pretty much just accept defeat, you know. He basically always wins. It's quite depressing, really. 15 cars have set laps so far. Stato is one of the guys still yet to cross the line to complete a flying lap. We'll follow the rest of his flying lap here on board with the Ferrari. Teammates on the reel on the provisional pole right now. How can Stato compare? Watch that braking for the hairpin. Gets it stopped much better than Vettel did. That brings it nicely. Oh, but he wasn't as good on the throttle there, was he? And he invalidates his lap there. That's what I mean about just being too eager with the right foot. Got it all wrong, and he'll have to go again there. And he continues to be one of the guys yet to set a time. Let's go, and there's a McLaren coming around fairly soon, I do believe. As of AMS Pez. About 3/10, he's got to close up to the car ahead. Can he do it? Yes, he can. A 42.3 takes pole position by 4/10 of a second. That's a nice margin to have as well there, as we come towards the halfway point of this short qualifying session. Lewis yet to set a lap. One of the 5 who continue to have not set a time. 2 of those cars are in pit lane currently. They might want to get out on track soon. If someone watching is in the race, could you let us know? Is it going to be a wet race or a dry race? Be interesting to know if these guys are using wet setups or not. Haas continues on its way then as it arrives down at the hairpin. Gets it stopped nicely and keeps it under control on throttle. I think potentially with a bit of help from traction control there. Yeah. Lewis then crosses the line and goes 16th on a 47.2. Sets his first lap of the day and has got plenty of time left in the session to try and improve that. Stato. Oh, he's on his lap. He's nearly at the end of it. He might. Oh, is he just invalid? I'm sorry. I should have just ignored him and let him finish his lap in peace. But no, I thought, oh, he's coming to the end of his lap. We'll ride on board with him. Literally just to watch him just miss the track limits and invalidate. Maybe we shouldn't watch Ludlow. Maybe we should just let him get a lap in as well, as he's going to go all the way over to the right hand side of the straight to try and get some kind of slipstream off the back of the McLaren, but the McLaren going slow enough that it shouldn't be giving off too big of a slipstream. Got the Aston Martin as well, right behind Ludlow. That is of Vettel, I assume. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be that close on one of my laps. Here comes Ludlow then, across the line. Here goes P14. It was not better, it was Western. Oh! Lorne. Once again. I think we've missed you, right? Was it an Alpine the first time we saw spinning? And we just sort of caught a glimpse of it? No, that was Shane, wasn't it? There you go, we just caught a glimpse of Lorne getting it wrong, and he pulls into pit lane. Veto's invalidated again. Classic. Still yet to set a valid lap in this session. Aki is on a push as well. His first push lap of the day, I do believe. Let's follow B forward. Let's see if we can commentators curse him as the yellow flags in the middle sector there, I do believe, are just for back markers, getting out of the way of those on flying laps. A little lock up on the inside front there for the Mercedes, but gets that sorted nicely. He's going to pick up the throttle now, and he's just got one corner to go left on this lap. Swings it in, picks up the throttle. Yep, just keeps that in the track limits. Crosses the line, and does a 43.5, not able to improve his lap on a 42.4. Snipes, I told you he was good in the wet, has just gone on to provisional pole, a 41.9. 4/10 clear of Pez. Good time there for him. We're interested to know if the track is improving or not, or if it's getting worse or staying the same, as Revolutional is taking a trip across the gravel. You know, I have a friend she's not into F1 at all, and she didn't know it was gravel on the side of the circuit. She thought it was rice. I was just as confused as you are. Redlow continuing to press on. Plenty of cars have now come into the pits to fit a new set of the intermediate tyre. I think you get 3 for qualifying, and then you have to have 1 reserved for the race. So tyres are in plenty of supply, which is always good. Have a look at the bottom 2. Aki has invalidated again, and may well have just had an off. We might have just missed there. Revolutional, or I think it's his debut race, has also invalidated. They are 2 guys yet to set a lap. The other one to set a lap is on his out lap, and he'll be hoping to just get a lap in to try and move himself up the order a wee bit. Lucky Lambert is starting his lap now. Currently P7 on a 43.1, 1.2 seconds away from the pole time of 41.9. Snipes maintaining that for now. Pez is just ahead of us, also on a flyer, so the McLaren's nice and close together on the circuit. We've got a Alpine going slowly there on the track map around that sort of final corner area. He's gone into pit lane now, so that's fun. Who is it? I have a feeling that Drazzy may have just had some issue coming into the pits. Nice. Lambert's continuing on his way. He's 2 tenths up. Let's monitor Pez's progress. He is not quite improving as they now come through the middle sector. So it sets a purple middle sector, but lost time in the first sector is only level with his personal best time. Still needs to find 4/10 now in this final part of the lap if he wants to challenge Snipe to pole position. Tom Ariel puts himself up in a P2 on a 42.0. Good time for the Ferrari. Definitely a one to watch in qualifying. Of course, the winner of the first race in Bahrain just 1 week ago, doing that masterful stint, taking a set of medium tyres to the end of the race from about lap 8. I was very impressed with that one. Pez continues on his way though now through the final corner, keeps it within track limits now, crosses the line, And he does put his car on provisional pole. He found the time in the final sector. And by just, what is that, 17 hundredths of a second, Pez puts himself ahead of Snipes and onto that pole position. Will Snipes have an answer to that? We will soon find out. Lucky Lambert improved his lap as well to put himself up into P5. Celtic is on a lap. James on a lap. D-Money is on a lap. Vettel and Stato as well. Stato is the closest to the line, so we will monitor his progress. Not yet invalidated this time, continuing on his way. We'll see if he can complete the lap and put himself up the order. Comes the Ferrari driver then. His teammate is P3 on the grid. Where can he put himself? Was 18th, crosses the line now and puts himself into P17 ahead of Lewis. And finally gets a time on the board. He's got that benchmark now. He can look to improve that in the final 2 minutes of the session. Pez is not pushing. On the real in pit lane, so that's his qualifying complete then. He will not improve from P3 on the grid. B4 has invalidated at that last corner again, hasn't he? Honestly, Ben, keep it in the track limits. I expect better from you. Summerreal confirming he will not do any further laps. He now retires from the session, as does Shane down in P12. Let's have a look though, as they're coming sort of through on their final sort of runs now. It'd be nice to know how long's left in the session. Can't actually see that right now. Cheers, game. Celtic in P11, starting a lap there. Teammate just going to cross line now. Yanni to start his time. Off we got then. We have a McLaren coming towards the line. Is that Pez to go again? I think it is. Pez having now recharged his battery. He's about to go another push. Weston puts himself up into P5. Lucky Lambert is coming through to start another lap. Then it is one of the Alpines. That will probably be Drazzy starting a lap. Then is the Ferrari of Stato down in P17. Then I think it's the Mercedes of likely B-Ford. He's on an invalid lap, if I remember correctly. So who's behind then? Snipes has to be, surely, doesn't it? We find out. Oh yeah, it's Snipes, and he is pushing and he is improving as he now runs down towards the hairpin. I think this is going to be his final lap. Is it not? Just 7 seconds left on the clock. Can he put his car back onto provisional pole as he gets very twitchy out the hairpin and has invalidated the lap? So Snipes will not improve. That gives Pez a sigh of relief. Snipes confirmed P2 at absolute best. B-Ford is pushing though on his final fly as he gets a bit twitchy coming out of turn 2. Hopefully that's not cost him too much time. Who have we got coming to the line? And I can see ROM James will be soon to the line. No, because he's decided to pull into pits. He will not improve. We've got James, who's yet retired from the session. We've got a whole series of cars coming to the line. Let's see Celtic first. We've got the Haas behind. That will be Aki. What can Celtic do? P9. Aki next across the line. He only manages P19. It's an all Haas back row of the grid. I do believe Pez is somewhere near the line. Is he going to be able to extend his advantage? He's going to get a nice slipstream on the run to the line. And he does improve by a tenth of a second. A 41.7 for Pez. Does B-Ford have any answer for that? He's 4 tenths up as he exited the second sector. That would put him onto a 42 flat. Might put him into P3, but would not put him on the pole position. He's got to find 3 tenths in the final sector if he wants to challenge Pez to pole position. Pez and Snipes are two that I would argue under-delivered in qualifying in Bahrain. They're certainly delivering here today. Currently locking up the front row unless the Mercedes of B-Ford can do anything about it. He's got one more corner to go. Flicks it in. Your pole sitter in Bahrain. Powers towards the line. What can he do? He splits the front two. Second on the grid. It's a front row for the reigning champion, but it's Pez who will line up on pole position for the Chinese Grand Prix after a wet qualifying. It's the McLaren of Pez at the front, B-Ford P2 and Snipes in P3. Snipes will be ruining that mistake he made out of the hairpin. He just lost the back end, didn't get the power down effectively, And that's what's going to have cost him any chance of getting onto that front row or pole position. Just half a tenth in the end. And a field spread in the wet, as you'd expect, quite wide. Total field spread of 5.4 seconds. If we exclude Lewis, that comes down to 2.3. But yeah, you'd expect that in the rain. You often get a very wide field spread. Everyone with the free tyre choice, so I expect to see a lot of medium to hard. Yeah, very few people, I should imagine, starting on the softs, because the softs die rather quickly around here. Behind the front three, it's Tommy Reel, P4, then it's Maitland. I'm going to call him CSR Maitland. That's his true name. None of this decorous bullshit. Weston's Lucky Lambert and Drazzy, I think that was. Then it is Celtic, Vettel, Ludlow, Lawn, Revolutional, RSF1 Shane, and RM James in P15. And I didn't get to see below that. It is a dry race. Marvellous. Let's take a look at the tyres then. Excellent. All mediums for now. We'll see if that changes by the race start. I'm going to go take a quick pit stop. I swear every time I try to say that, I say it wrong. Great. Yeah, I'm going to take a quick pit stop. Go grab yourself a drink, a bite to eat. We'll be back in about 5 minutes' time for the start of the Chinese Grand Prix. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Chinese Grand Prix. It's ROM Season 3, it's Round 2, and we have the Chinese Grand Prix coming up for you then. It is Pez on pole ahead of B Ford. Let's take ourselves a look at the final tyre choices. That's not the one I wanted that one up. Pez, medium, B Ford medium, Snipes, Tommy Real and Smates. Interesting. All put the soft tyre on. I was not expecting that. I expected, like, everyone to just slap on a set of mediums, do the one stop, and that be the end of that. But, evidently, not the case. They're all on mediums then. From there down, that's Weston's, Lucky Lambert, Drazzy, Celtic, Vettel, Ludlow, Lorne, Evolutional, until we get to Shane, who's fitted a set of softs. He's going to look to make progress in the early phases. Then James on the mediums. D-Money, gone for the hard tyres at the start of this race. He's going to go far into this one. And maybe hope for a safety car or something to really bring him into play. And then it's Yanni, Stato and Aki on the mediums. And Lewis, last on the grid, on the soft compound tyre. Let's get ready to race then. This is going to be interesting because we've got Pez and B Ford locking out that front row. But behind them, Snipes, Tommy Real and Smates all on the softs. You'd expect all of them to just launch off the line so much better. Let's set up the screen for a race start. Excellent. Here we go then, cars pulling into their grid positions, ready for lights out. And it will be Lewis who will be the final one to take his slot at the back of the grid. Nothing to lose for him going into turn one. It'll be up to him on how much he wants to risk it. Is he going to take much risks, or will he just let everybody get through cleanly? Lights go on ahead of the drivers then for the Chinese Grand Prix. And we are racing in Shanghai, and it looks like a decent start for Pez. Moves across ever so slightly just to cover off B Ford, who will have the inside line into turn one. We got Snipes there on the outside on the softs. He's got a good start. The Ferrari of Tommy Real on the inside as well. They all look to be getting through the first corner cleanly. Pez and B Ford still side by side. B Ford briefly got ahead there, but now has to tuck in behind as Pez took the inside for turn two. It's still the front two maintaining position as we've got the cars behind Tommy Real and Snipes side by side as they make their way down into the turn four hairpin. B Ford on the inside of the race leader. Can't get that move done. And it's Pez who continues to lead then as they now make their way into sector 2. And it's Pez who leads from B Ford. And we got Tommy Real looking for it down the inside. That's risky. Might cost him a place. Here is Snipes now looks to get involved as Smaitland has gone round. He's gotten out the way nicely there. I don't think he's going to cause too much carnage behind him. He's the cause of those yellow flags in Sector 1. Revolutional up into P8 from the start as we got James there in P7. But it's Snipes who did manage to get ahead of B4. B4 going to continue to fight back at him though as he gets squeezed there. They very nearly make contact. And Tommy Real will be loving this. He's now looking to make up places. He's in the slipstream. Can he have a go on the brakes into the hairpin? Snipes closing up to the back of Pez as well. Pez looks to be just far enough ahead as they now arrive at the hairpin. And Tommy Real down the inside on the Mercedes puts his Ferrari up into P3. B Ford losing 2 places on the first lap to those starting on the soft compound tyre. But it's Pez who's done what he needs to do, maintains his lead and sets the fastest lap in the process, obviously, because no one else has set a lap time as of yet. That was eventful. Now the game just wants to do its normal timing tower glitch for us just because traditions. Lewis in the pits at the end of the first lap. He's had contact with someone and will be going for a new front wing. There we go. Sorted itself out now, mostly. Just Yanni then that needs to cross the sector split to sort out the timing tower, which he now has done. It's still off, isn't it? Or is it? good to know that Tommy Real and Snipes have definitely ended up some kind of coming together, and I've missed it because they've both dropped down the order there. We've got Aki up into P11. Would love to know what's happened between those two. We were watching the race leader Pez as the timing tower sorted itself out, and the two coming together and must be down at the turn 4 hairpin. Not ideal for them. Great for B4, puts himself back up into P2 as Tommy Real weaving around there, maybe showing his anger to Snipes behind him. Are they going to collide again as we arrive at the hairpin? Can't see any wing damage on either of them, but oh dear. Yeah, oh, Tommy Real's got in. He's got wing damage then, surely. I do apologise that we've missed that. That is actually diabolical from me. Tommy Real, who was, what, second he was running? He had a great start. Now having to pit, Pez continues to lead. He's got a 2.5 second advantage now. Drazzy running P3, Celtic P4, James now up to P5 because of that. He's looking to maybe think about one down the inside, but unfortunately just not able to get that one off as we've got yellow flags back there again. I think it's one of the Alpines who's gone. Lawn potentially has just dropped off the pack a bit. Got an Aston Martin going slowly. It's Vettel who's heading off. RSF1 Vettel on the medium tire, now down in P17 and well off the back of the pack. Sorry, the timing tower is still so bugged, like the gaps are just off and it's throwing me off as well. It's not ideal. Snipes now on a comeback drive, a bit like he was in Bahrain after that poor qualifying. Going to have to sort of close up the gaps to the cars ahead. We'll see what he can do. Is he going to get the move done here on Shane? Stato has gone round, I do believe. Yeah, out of the I don't know what turn number it is. The really long corner that leads onto that back straight as Snipes put himself there ahead of Shane. There we go. Timing tower is now sorting itself out as the go over line. Only took us about 4 laps, but we're getting there in the end. Drazzy's got a good pace. He's all over the back of B Ford, and with some DRS, might well be able to get the move done going into the hairpin. Definitely a possibility, you'd have to say. Big Filge in the chat saying, Tommy Real, Snipes and B Ford came together, says Pez. Cheers, Filge. There you go. B Ford was involved in that collision then. B Ford seems to have gotten away with it just fine. However, Tommy Real, your race winner last time out, had to box. Snipes now running down in P9. Sort of worked out quite nicely for B Ford. He may well have wing damage. That's why he might be dropping off the back of Pez and have Drazzy right behind him. Is Drazzy going to be able to have a go into the hairpin, or is he going to be that bit too far behind? You'd have to say he's not going to be close enough as he is. B4 just covering the inside there as a precaution before moving back across as he realises the Alpine is not going to catch him. And Snipes has put himself now up in a P8 as he continues to make his way up the order. Oh, nice drift, my friend. Let's put that tyre graphic on screen so we can just see everyone ahead of Snipes is on the medium tyre. So Snipes will have the advantage in this early stage. And then we'll see what happens once he has to pit nice and early. All yellow flags. What's going on? Drazzy's gone round. Bet you he's tried to put one up the inside of B Ford, and B Ford's just kind of shut the door on him. Clipped the front tyre of Drazzy, and that's what's put Drazzy round. I've seen that happen too many times at turn 1. There you go. Another car potentially having a collision with B Ford. That makes it sound like he's a really dirty driver. He's not, but you know. There we are, as we got more yellow flags. Is that Vettel who's gone round? No, Weston's who's gone round. Vettel in a battle with Stato. They now charge down to turn 4. Vettel going to try and go round the outside of the hairpin. He'll surely get squeezed out. No, he doesn't. Gets left just enough space there. Uses it and puts his car up into P16. Nice move there for the Aston Martin. As Weston continues to struggle. Horn picks up a 3-second time penalty. Lucky Lambert closing on ROM James, the car ahead. Derating, losing power. That's going to allow the McLaren to close up. It's going to go to the outside for the hairpin, late on the brakes. This is not the preferential line. On the outside, you'd often find yourself run out of road, but he might just get this one done here. He'll have the inside for the final corner, but he chooses to back out. Potentially a wise move there. Did not want to have any collision. He knows there's a long way to go in this one, and he might just get the opportunity again as they run up towards the first corner. Once again, he's shown the outside line, chooses not to take it, but it's worked out quite nicely for him. He's done the over and under, and now surely he can just drive his rival out wide. Chooses to leave plenty of space there for the Mercedes, as they both get a bit twitchy there coming out on turn 2, and it's James who'll hold on. Is there maybe to move on into turn 4? Not on this occasion. Good racing there. Snipes running P7, closing up to the pack ahead of him. Really not what he needed in this race, you'd have to say. He needed to be pushing on in these early phases and sort of getting ahead of Pez in B4 and trying to build a gap while he had the advantage over the soft compound tyre. Oh heavens, that was the wrong time to try and eat a Tang fast stick. Revolutional has spun it round in the middle sector. He's now facing the right way again, but he's lost plenty of places. He was running, what, P8? It's now down to P14, down 6 places after that spin. Alright, can confirm the Tang fast stick has been eaten. And we can get back to talking about motor racing. It's Ludlow on the back of Lucky Lambert. This fight for, what is it, P3? Ranging from P3 down to P6, and Snipes about to join this battle as well. You can just see him there in the background. Aki picking up a 3-second penalty. That's the second one we've seen today in 7 laps, as Revolution puts himself up ahead of Yanni and then back behind as he pulls into pit lane. Maitland now ahead of Aki. Phil, can you tell Pez to slow down a bit, because it's kind of boring with him about 4 seconds ahead of everyone. Cheers. No flags again in the first sector. Is that Revolution going around again, maybe? Green flags now, but I think potentially another mistake there from the Red Bull driver. Let's follow along then, back in this train. Is this the lap that Lucky Lambert gets the move done on the car ahead? Does the car ahead have DRS? Does, just about, was within range at the detection point. And that could be crucial, or is it? Because Lucky Lambert's going to have a go down the inside into the hairpin, puts himself up ahead of the Mercedes. You've got Ludlow just waiting in the background for a mistake from one of these two. But it is Lucky Lambert who's now put himself ahead of the Mercedes and up into 4th place. Is James going to be able to fight him back, though, as the McLaren without DRS? The McLaren choosing, he wants the outside line, interestingly enough, for turn 1. Leaves a lot of space there, going in a bit deep, and that might just allow James to drive up the inside. I think it has done. The McLaren hanging it round the outside will get the inside now for turn 2. Who's going to get better traction off the corner? Looks like it's James, who somehow just managed to hold on once again. There is Snipes in the background, I think, is let past by his teammate. Wise decision making there for the Alfa Romeo drivers. Lucky Lambert's got to be getting frustrated now, still stuck behind the Mercedes. Surely he'll do it this lap. There's no way he's going to sit behind for another lap. He's got to just throw the kitchen sink at it now. I know it's only lap 8, but he just seems like he's losing time behind the Mercedes. Has got to get this one done. Surely there, with a late braking manoeuvre, has put himself ahead. But once again, it's going to be the Mercedes who gets DRS coming out of this final corner as they got very close there. James late on the brakes as Snipes now pulls into pits. And yeah, look, James is just going to come straight back at him. He's going to go for the outside, interestingly enough, for the first corner. Perhaps deciding that's the preferential line. I'm not sure it is. I would think I would have gone for the inside. And that's why Lucky Lambert, with that inside line, gets himself ahead and should now, if he's got the pace, be able to just drive away from the Mercedes through the middle sector. Snipes going to come out well down the order now. He's a long way off the lead of this race. He put on a set of hard tyres, so he is going to the end. He's managing to one-stop it. Just, yeah, not ideal with that opening lap collision. Well, not opening lap, but, you know, early phases of the race. There's a mistake there from James, and Ludlow thought he'd have a look inside, but thought better of it and was wise to do so. Next, getting ahead of Stato. Look at Pez, so lonely. Drop back and make some friends. Silly goose. Beeford's quite isolated as well right now. He's got about a 4-second advantage over Celtic as Aki and Shane swap places there. And this little train of cars, Ludlow now ahead of James. Is James going to be able to fight back into turn 1 this time? I'm not convinced he will. The car ahead with that DRS advantage. And James has lost 2 places in 2 laps. Goes in deep. That might invite Drazzy up the inside. Has done. Drazzy looking to get the move done here. Squeezes his rival a little bit there. Drazzy now with the outside was not able to hold it round the outside of turn 2. And James will manage to hold on to that P6 for the time being. But don't think that's over. Because here comes Drazzy once again. It's like a Daniel Ricciardo move on the inside of Valtteri Bottas a handful of years ago. Who's going to get better traction off the corner? This time it's the Mercedes. Gets himself clear as we've got an Aston Martin going slowly. Again. Weston's. Oh yeah, Weston's a spun, but that wasn't the one it was the first time. It was Vettel who had problems the first time. I just happened to catch Weston's losing it as well there as he moved across Lewis there a bit. Cheeky. Not going well for Aston Martin at China, you'd have to say. Yeah, nice. But those sticking with Lucky Lambert quite nicely. Here goes Drazzy then, this time on James. He's going to go for the inside into the hairpin. It's pretty safe to say he's going to get this one done. No real way of defending there for the Mercedes. Drazzy just nailed the braking, and as VSC has been deployed because guess what? An Aston Martin done it again, facing the wrong way. Only a virtual safety car, but these 3 are taking that as an opportunity to come into the pits, as has Aki and Shane. Money's on the Haas, he'll stay out. Yeah, Shane in the box, Lorne in the box, Yanni boxing, Snipes will stay out. He'll lose out time because of this, because he's now having to go at a reduced pace. Not what he wanted, but is what he's going to have to deal with. He's behind James, look. Yeah, not ideal for him. Oh, we are racing again, and Snipes with a very optimistic restart there. Instantly going round the outside of ROM James. Good stuff there for the Alfa Romeo. He was definitely paying attention and caught the Mercedes napping, gets himself up into 7th place. Now this could be crucial because the leaders, the top 4, were not able to pit there. Includes Lucky Lambert, who might find himself losing out here. Weston's boxes, Vettel boxes, Aston Martin's still 19th and 20th. Not lapped yet though, so they may as well continue and hope for a safety car. Weston's is now lapped. That's pretty much his race over. B Ford boxes from second place. See where he comes out. He should come out in P4. There's a fairly sizable gap there, but he's going for the undercut on the car ahead. Wasn't close enough that he could undercut and maybe come out ahead of Pez, but he might just be able to close down that gap a bit with a cheeky little undercut. We'll have a look. We'll see what it is when Pez boxes. I assume he'll play it safe and just follow it in this lap as Celtic. Bit cheeky there, trying to get on the throttle there as he boxed for a set of medium tyres. No, he's not boxed. Oh, did he get a drive-through? So racing ahead, we should probably look at that for a moment. Snipes having a look at Drazzy. I did see someone come up and got a drive-through. It must have been Celtic. Yeah, Celtic picked up a drive-through, as did James, for speeding under the VSC. You naughty, naughty children. Snipes then all over the back of Drazzy and Ludlow, looking to pick up these two places would put him back up into P4, and then, to be fair, only 4 seconds off the back of B Ford. Not too bad of a situation for these guys if they can stay with those the pace of the guys ahead. As look at Drazzy there, going to the outside, very defensive from Ludlow. Snipes looking to capitalise here, thought about doing the over and under there if he could, but was not able to get the traction that would have required. Now they come onto the main straight as Snipes puts himself ahead of D-Money in the fight for P9. Their teammates most likely working together, but here comes Drazzy. Is the first corner going to come up too soon? Yes, it does, but Drazzy still with that inside line, kept it tight to the inside. He's going to go for it here, may well get this one done. He'll have to go on the outside for turn 2. That'll give Ludlow the advantage. Who's going to get better traction as the Alpine squeezed on the outside, and Ludlow just managed to hold on, but now as they run up towards turn 4, surely Drazzy will get this one done with the inside. Late on the brakes goes the Alfa Romeo, but it's the Alpine who just squeezes Rival out wide, and that may well allow Snipes through as well, and does so. Snipes through up into P5, and he'll now be putting all the pressure on Drazzy he can. Or will he work with him? Because if these two have got the pace, they may as well work together to try and close up the gap for the race podium sitter ahead of them. Oh, yellow flags. That is for an AlphaTauri, and it is not Yanni, it's the other one. It's Celtic who's had an off. Gets it going once again though, and continues on in 15th place. Stays so with a 3-second penalty. Snipes gaining massively on the Alpine ahead of him. He's going to go for it on the inside into turn 1. Puts himself past and into 4th place. Nice move there for the Alfa Romeo, recovering from that collision with Tommy Real and B Ford in the early stages, and will now continue on in this Grand Prix as he marches towards the front. He's in a net P3 as it stands. We'll see if he is able to close the gap to B Ford ahead of him. It's 4.8 seconds as we reach the halfway point of the Chinese Grand Prix. Revolutional. Battling Yanni. Side by side. Good action here. Out of turn 2. And it's the Red Bull just keeping ahead. These guys fighting for P12, so no points on offer as it stands, but some instants ahead of them. Tommy Real retirement, and that looks like it's on track. Has he done that? Safety car is deployed. That's the crucial thing. Vettel is going to box. No, I want to see what the fudge Tommy Real has done. The championship leader, your race winner last time out, has binned it. Has he done that coming out the pits? We'll never know. Lucky Lambert has just... This has worked out so unbelievably well for him. Like, the guy has not yet boxed. He will now box under the safety car. He's going to come out in P2. Look, it is a McLaren 1-2. Pez, and this is quite surprising, stays out. He's gone for track position over his teammate. And I'm guessing he probably decided that because his teammate was in the box, he didn't want to lose time. Because the double stack is just not a thing in the game for some reason. Don't understand why, but it's not. And that could cost him. Let's bring up that tyre graphic for you. Let's see what tyres everybody's gone for. Medium tyres to be Ford and for Snipes and for Drazzy and for Ludlow. Lambert had to put hards on. He had only used the mediums so far, and the softs, well, they just won't get to the end from this point in the race. James uses this as an opportunity to move back up the order. He's trying to recover from a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. Everyone who's stayed out is on the hards. Everyone who's boxed has gone for the mediums, other than Lambert and Revolution by the looks of it. Also on a set of hard tyres. I definitely would have boxed the mediums here. You'll just have better pace to the end of the race, won't you? End of the day. Hard tyres are pain. Oh, get me. Nice twitch, bro. Don't crash on the safety car. That would be embarrassing. Vettel and Weston's have been lapped, unfortunately. Though the safety car does not allow them to catch up to the back of the field. As now we've got a couple of cars in the pits. Two of them who didn't pit first time round. Celtic and Stato, who are going to drop to the back of the queue here, but have decided they want fresh tyres instead of some track position. That leaves Pez as the only driver, other than James, to have not pitted. Very interesting call. Very interesting. We'll see if it pays off for him. I don't think it'll pay off. I think the pace of B-Fall and Snipes is going to be too strong now. To the end of this race, his teammate will be fairly fast as well. I mean, they're on. Pez's hards are pretty fresh. They're not that, they've not got a lot of wear on them, so he's sort of on a level with his teammate. So in theory, those two will be teammates and work together. But B-Ford and Snipes on their fresh mediums, and Drazzy, he's had good pace this race as well, are going to be charging at them at a vast rate of knots. Where's Lewis? Are we expecting safety car in this lap? Maybe not. We might have to do another lap. Nice. Big Vettel has got himself DSQ'd for ignoring yellow flag. As you do. I think that's what's that then? Overtaking under safety car, overtaking the safety car. Safety car in this lap, that is a late call, isn't it? Pez now going to have to suddenly back the pack up here as we get ready to go racing again. The car behind him is a back marker. That will be his advantage. When's Pez going to go then? I assume rather late. Right about there, that would be your answer. And he's absolutely launching off the restart because Weston's has just like not gone anywhere off the restart. Lucky Lambert's coming under big pressure from B Ford. Mercedes down the inside on the McLaren. Can he get that move done? He'll have the grip advantage on the medium tyres. Surely just drive his rival out wide. Leaves the space in turn 2, but sort of pinches him at an angle where Lucky Lambert has to brake. And that's allowed the Mercedes to get through. Where's Snipes from all this? Because he'll be wanting to follow through as quickly as possible. He's going to look to go to the inside. He's going to get boxed in by B Ford down the inside. If he pulls that off, that's a thrilling move down the inside. Oh my god, that's going to be like overtake of the season. Snipes, I hate losing to you, but sometimes you're just a legend in the car. I don't think he meant to do that. I think he just got the braking wrong, trying to outbrake Lucky Lambert, and ended up pulling off a double overtake. Pez leads by 2 seconds, but it's Snipes now up into P2 on fresh mediums, and he is going to be charging down that McLaren. Game on at the front of the field. Someone clip that. That was beautiful. I hope Snipes clipped that as well, for his own sake. On to the back. Oh, we've got a spin. Ludlow. No, not Ludlow. Maitland. Let's not be silly here. Oh, safety car again. Straight away. Did he collide with someone? Maybe Aki. I think he's dropped back a bit. There you go. Safety car straight back out again. Pez is in the box. Pez! He's going to drop to last. He's obviously decided the strategy he had originally chosen was wrong, but I think he'll drop to dead last now. Okay, I'll stay ahead of the 2 Hasses and D-Money. D-Money has crashed with someone, and the 2 Hasses have boxed. That's Pez down to P13. He'll have great pace at the end, but Snipes, after having a spin in the opening stages, now leads the Chinese Grand Prix. B Ford's in there in P2. Lambert's now running P3 for McLaren, who were 1-2 at the last safety car. They're now 3rd and 13th. James P4, good showing for Mercedes here. Ludlow P5, Lorne P6, then it's Shane, Revolution or Celtic, Drazzy, Yanni, Stato, Pez, Lewis, Aki, D-Money and Weston's. Is he even still here? Yes, he is still here. Still driving, still motoring along. He's managed to unlap himself here, hasn't he? Because Pez boxed. It's worked out quite nicely for him. He can join the back of the pack and get racing again. Good for him. Shane, Lorne, why are we doing racing under the safety car? Stop. It's just stupid. I'm surprised Pez didn't put softs on. He may well come in again. Put softs on. He'll lose what, 2 places? It's up to him. Will the softs do 10 laps? I mean, it'll be what, 8 or 9 laps once safety car's in. The softs may well do that. If you think the softs can make those laps, I mean the 2 Hasses clearly do. If you think the softs can make it to the end, you may as well put them on. Give yourself the best chance of working up the field, although perhaps the mediums will be better for a consistent attack and the run up towards the final laps of this race. Of course, if you put the softs on, you'll have a blisteringly quick first 5 laps, and then you'll just be sort of on a dying set of tyres, which is never fun. Guys, why are we off the road? We're under safety car. This is the easy bit. Red Bulls, stop going side by side. I hate when people do this, especially when I'm driving and then just under the safety car someone just pulls alongside me. I'm like, go away. What if I were to start weaving as you did that? We'd ever crash. Just stay behind. It's not that hard. Oh, bye Maitland. Just waiting for Westons to catch the cue, which he may well be able to do by the end of this lap, and then we can get back to green flag racing. B4 versus Snipes then. Who's going to win out on that one? Snipes loves the Chinese circuit. Don't think B4 does, to be honest. I've got a feeling that this is not one of his favourites. Last time I checked, anyway, it was yeah, not one that he preferred, shall we say. The fuck is going on here? Assume that was a timing tower glitch and not just everybody deciding, let's do musical chairs. Oh my goodness. Oh, hello. What has gone on behind the collision with that? I can't help but feel the stewards are going to have to look at the safety car here. How are we crashing on the safety car? It's not difficult. Just drive slow and don't hit each other. Shane's now got a box. He's apparently got wing damage of some description. It's really easy. You drive slow and no sudden movements. Don't suddenly brake or suddenly weave or do crap like that. Just drive, single file, nice and easy, and it works. Aye. James is one of the oldest tyres on the field. 8 lap old, hard tyres. He is going to be so much slower. Oh, Lawn's retired. Brilliant. Didn't even want to, you know, continue on in this one. Cool. I might check the Discord, see if anybody said anything about what the move has just happened. I've run out of water. That's depressing. Nope, nothing in the Discord. Safety car expected in at the end of this lap then. That'll be up to Snipes. He's got plenty of warning this time. Pez didn't. Pez literally got told safety car in this lap as we were, what, 100 metres away from the pit lane. Pez had to do a very sudden, oh crap, we're going racing again. Snipes has sort of got the whole final sector. He's got a third of the lap to control this, to let the safety car drive off into the distance before he decides, yep, I want to go now. Oh my goodness. So I just saw them swap place again. I was like, oh my, can we just not? Snipes, when are you going to do it then? People normally go just before the final corner. We'll see whether Snipes follows tradition. The safety car is now within the pit lane and Snipes can go when he pleases, and he goes right where we expected him to. Be forward, watch the track limits, mate. Green flags, we are racing. Snipes leads them away and is trying to break the slipstream there as he leads into the first corner. Then comes B forward, then it's Lucky Lambert, James and Revolutionary and Ludlow side by side. The Red Bull up the inside gets his way and puts himself up into P5. Ludlow has to drop down to P6 as they continue to snake their way through the first couple of corners before getting the throttle back down as we run through turn 3 and down to the turn 4 hairpin. Pez on the inside of Yanni, on the outside of Yanni, sorry, got that one done under braking, puts himself up into P9. He's going to be charging through the field here with just 7 laps to go of this Grand Prix. There's a gap up the inside. Pez is going to take it. Gets himself up into P8. Nicely done there. Picks off both AlphaTauris in 2 corners. Excellent work for the McLaren driver. Stato picks up a 3-second time penalty and now loses the place to the Haas in the background. But it is Snipes who continues to lead the way and has pulled over a second from his nearest rival already. Pez is right onto the back of his next competitor, using a lot of the battery on this opening lap of the restart, as is Drazzy, to be fair, in defending from Pez. Is Pez going to send all under braking as they all move around? They're trying to get in the slipstream, get out of the slipstream, do whatever they feel they need to do, but none of them close enough by the time they get to the hairpin to make a move there. But Ludlow perhaps going in a bit deep. That's going to allow Drazzy to close up that little bit as Drazzy runs wide through the final corner. That's going to surely open the door wide open for Pez. He's in the slipstream. Is he going to be able to have a go through the first corner? Just a bit too far behind. As long as Drazzy can keep it tight to the inside, there should be no way Pez can get that one done. And can't. Has to tuck in behind as the two Alpha Tauri drivers swap places now as they once again pick up the throttle and make their way down towards turn 4. Pez right on the back of his nearest rival. Can he make the move on the brakes into the hairpin? He's going to have to go the long way around there. There's a bit of moving very close to the corner. They all got through cleanly. And Pez, I think, got a bit twitchy on the exit of that one. Was not able to get through as Lewis has dropped back to the back of the field. Had a collision with someone through turn 4. Is right on the back of Drazzy. Is he going to be able to get anything done on this lap as they now continue to make their way down towards the hairpin? He's not going to be close enough by the looks of it. Do anything under braking. Drazzy maybe thinking about a move on Ludlow here. Looks to the inside. Can't get it done, but he's allowed Pez to close up in doing so. And now Pez is just going to get the drive off the corner and will make his way easily up into P7 as DRS has now been enabled. And that's going to promote even more racing. Not at the front though. Snipes has broken that DRS gap to B4. 1.3 seconds is that. It needs to be below 1 second for B4 to get the DRS. James is at the front of this queue as you would expect. He's on 11 lap old hard tyres. The car behind him 4 laps fresher. Still hard tyres, and then it's these two here, Pez and Ludlow, on much fresher medium tyres. Yellow flags in sector 1. That's for Lewis, I believe, once again. Shane losing places. He's the cause of the yellow flags. It's Shane. Pez just not quite close enough to get the move done on Ludlow there, but he's tapped the back of the Alfa Romeo. Somehow both drivers still facing the right way. That could have been a collision that sent Ludlow spinning round. Pez will now, in theory, he'll wait until they get onto the back straight and then he will deploy battery and really try and have a go here to make his way past his rival, but looking maybe even having a sniff up the inside there through the right-hander. That might cost him now as, yeah, look at James. He knows that he's a massive threat here as he tried to break the slipstream there. The Red Bull. Sorry, my voice was just dying on me for saying that. Are we going to go 3 wide? We're not going to do that, please, surely. It's Revolutional down the inside. Look at Pez in there as well. Taps the back of the Mercedes. Hopefully that's not wing damage for him as he tried to make the move on Ludlow. It's the Red Bull still side by side with James. They make their way into the final corner, and it's Revolutional who looks to have got that one done. James still fighting it on the outside. Now look at Ludlow getting involved. He's past the Red Bull. Now can he have a go on the Mercedes? He's been left the space on the outside. Pez, meanwhile, gets up the inside of Revolutional, puts himself up into P6. The Red Bull's coming back at him, and there's contact. And the Red Bull's been put into a huff, and he got back up the inside of Pez, but he was not prepared for the Alfa Romeo, who slammed the door on him, and that's cost him more places. Revolutional down to P8, now behind Drazzy. Ludlow continuing on in P5. He's the next one to have a go at James, who somehow managed to hold on to P4 through all that. D-Money is in the pits. Not what he wanted to be doing at this phase of the race, I would imagine. He's fitted soft tyres. He might steal the fastest lap here. That could be interesting to watch. Stato picks up another 3-second penalty. Oh, Pez has dropped it! Over the bumps! I watched him go over those bumps and I was like, that looks pretty unsettling. It was indeed. Pez has made the barriers. And the man who was on pole has chosen not to continue. He's out of the race. He was on pole. He led off the start. The first half of the race was perfect from him. But once that safety car came out, it all sort of just started to crumble away from him. He is out of the Chinese Grand Prix. Snipes continues to lead ahead of B4, that gap up to 1.7 seconds. The Alfa Romeo looks to have the pace over the Mercedes behind him. Lucky Lambert runs P3. Ludlow in the fight for P4 still, and has got himself up ahead of James, and he can now try and break away from him. It's on much pressure tyres there. Drazzy, a bit twitchy, wasn't it? Managed to keep it together. James, I thought he was about to just launch one up the inside there. I was like, oh my god, you will not have the grip on your hard tyres. Just let him go. You've lost the position. Focus now on trying to stay ahead of Drazzy with 3.5 laps left of this Chinese Grand Prix. Unfortunately for Drazzy, James is about to get DRS off of Ludlow ahead of him. Drazzy may well have to wait one more lap, or is he? Because he looks like he's got a battery advantage, which he is going to use to close up on the Mercedes. He's gaining all the time. This should be a simple move to the inside to put himself up into P5. Gets it stopped nicely at the apex, gets on the throttle, and he is now clearly through. And James has had to drop down to P6 as the Alpha Tauris swap places once again. Aki picking up another 3-second penalty. Weston's getting ahead of Stato. Yanni and Celtic side by side. We've got Shane getting involved as well there to try and make it 3 wide. And it's Shane who manages to put himself up into P10. It's the battle of the bulls here and the fight for P9. 2 young bulls and 1 more experienced bull. Shane, of course, in that senior Red Bull team. Great racing there. Only for a couple of points as well. Really scrapping it out for those minor positions. Yellow flags. Who's gone around? It's Aki, who's had a spin. He's now out of the points. P13. As D-Money sets the fastest lap of the race so far, a 32.6. Gap at the front's come down a bit. It was 1.7, is now down to 1.4. As Aki, I think, has spun again and has decided he wants to call it quits there with just 3 laps to go here. Make that 2 laps to go. Actually, the leader's about to cross the line to make it 2 laps to go of the Chinese Grand Prix. B4 still in hot pursuit, 1.3 seconds behind, but is there going to be enough time for him to close that gap and then for him to get the move on Snipes for the race win? Lambert's holding on nicely in P3, Drazzy now running P4, Ludlow in P5, James P6, Revolutional P7, Yanni P8, Shane P9, and Weston's now in P10, as Celtic now running down in P11. He's now got to worry about Stato having a look up the inside of him. What are we saying then? Can Ludlow have a move on Drazzy? Yellow flags again. It's a McLaren who's gone round. Is that Lucky Lambert who's had a moment? He has. Lucky Lambert's gone round. He's made a mistake in the middle sector on the penultimate lap here, and he's dropped from a podium position down to P7. Promotes Drazzy and Ludlow up. This is now the battle for the podium, although I'm not sure it's really a battle anymore. Drazzy seems to have the pace to just pull away from the Alfa Romeo here, even though the Alfa Romeo will now have a nice serving of DRS. I think the Alpine has just done enough. Actually, James behind him may have to worry about. James is hanging on nicely there. We are then on the final lap. The Chinese Grand Prix. B Ford has continued to close down that gap. Now it's now down to 1.1 seconds between Snipes and the Mercedes. But it's not going to be enough. B Ford, unless Snipes makes a mistake, the Mercedes shouldn't get close enough to have a go here on the final lap. Ludlow is about 5 tenths now behind Drazzy. We'll be hoping he can get a move done on the final lap. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Alpine has got in store to defend. And as the leaders are about to go over the detection point for DRS for the final time, Snipes has done enough to make sure B Ford will not get DRS, and there is no way that B Ford will be able to close up 1.1 seconds down one straight. If he does, I call cheating. It's Ferrari 2019 all over again. Ludlow is in that DRS range, but 7 tenths might just be a bit too far back to be able to have a go on the Alpine ahead of him. Drazzy should be able to hold on to take that podium place, but it's more than a podium place for your race leader. Snipes SB rounds the final corner, crosses the line. He wins the Chinese Grand Prix after being spun around in the early stages after a collision with Tommy Rail. He beats B Ford to the line. He takes second, and it will be Drazzy who comes home in third, just ahead of Ludlow and P4. James somehow on those worn hard tyres is going to take P5. Great race from him, just ahead of Revolution. Lucky Lambert, who was running so well, was on for the podium, spun with 1.5 laps to go. Takes P7 in the end, but I'm sure he was hoping for much better after a great drive from the McLaren up until that point. It's the two AlphaTauris, P8 and P9. It's Yanni, then Celtic. Shane in P10 for Red Bull. And then outside of the points is Weston's, Stato, Lewis and D-Money, who will round out the order. What a drive from Snipes. He just kept his cool, didn't he? Kept working his way through the field. A couple safety cars played into his hands, a mistake from Pez on the strategy, and altogether it worked out nicely to be a Snipes win. I mean, it's China, what do you expect? He's pretty damn good at winning here. There are your final standings then for the Chinese Grand Prix. Snipes wins ahead of B Ford, then it's Drazzy, Ludlow, James, Revolutional, Lucky Lambert, Yanni, Celtic, Shane, Weston, Stato, Lewis, D-Money, Aki, Pez, Lawrence, Smates, Vettel and Tommy Reel. And in the end we had 14 cars make the finish of the Chinese Grand Prix. There you are then. Good stuff. Yeah. Very surprising from Pez. You'd have to say, on pole, he nailed that first section of the race, that first half. He just was perfect at the front, just controlled the race, and then the safety car came out, and he didn't pit. And from there, it all seemed to unravel. And then in the end, it was a mistake from him, sent him spinning into the barriers. And that was the end of that. Where are we racing next week? That will be Spain, won't it? That's another painful one normally. It is. It's the Spanish Grand Prix. We'll be back next week then for round 3 of this championship. Hopefully it throws up some more thrilling action just like that one. And hopefully Skills will be with me next week. Fingers crossed. I know he is particularly busy at the moment. So we will wait and see on that one. But until then, goodbye.